Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Vlad, a pediatrician who specializes in pediatric care for autism. Today, we're diving into an important topic: how to assess the effectiveness of treatments for autism. I recently had an experience with a parent who wanted to know if starting a new supplement was going to be effective for her child. She heard some stories from close family friends who have been using them for their children and wanted to know if she can get the same results for her son too. Sounds familiar? I understand that we are more willing to try any new therapy that may help our children, especially if they are suffering with significant challenges from autism. We have to keep in mind the differences between proven treatments, such as ABA therapy, and unproven ones. And as parents, caregivers, and advocates, understanding the criteria that lets us differentiate the two empowers us to make informed decisions. So let's get started. I want you to picture this. You are lost in a dense forest. Your intuition nudges you to take a certain path, the one that feels right, like a compass that's whispering secrets into your ear. But be careful. Our intuition isn't always the wisest guide. It's like a well-meaning friend who occasionally leads us astray. What we really need in this moment is something like a compass, which has no agenda. It has no bias. It can only point in the direction of accuracy. It's important to keep in mind that while a compass can point the way, it cannot tell you how long it will take to get there and what the distance of something is. It can only tell us north, south, east, and west. It can't say go 10 miles, 5 miles, or 2 miles, etc. So that compass that has no agenda of its own, that only shows us the general direction of where we need to go, is how researchers and doctors use information to guide families on what would be helpful to their kids and what things may be potentially harmful for them. So what kind of information do we need about any new treatment that would be the compass that could guide us in making an informed decision? Well, the first thing is this: something called a placebo-controlled group. Right? So I want you to think of a placebo like a silent actor in any kind of research study. It's essential to have a placebo control arm, a group that receives a harmless, inactive substance. Why? Because sometimes our minds play tricks on us. The placebo effect can make people feel better simply because they believe they're receiving a treatment. By comparing the treatment group to the placebo group, we tease out the real magic from the imaginary. Next, clinical blinding. Anytime we have a treatment and we have one group getting a placebo, another group getting an actual treatment, it's important to hide to the people receiving the treatment, as well as the people who are the experimenters giving them the experimental treatment, who is getting what. So imagine a clinical trial like a mystery novel. In this case, the detectives, and that's our experienced reviewer, has to remain unbiased. Clinical blinding ensures that neither the subjects nor the experimenters knows who's receiving the actual treatment and who's getting the placebo. It's like hiding the solution in the detective novel until the last chapter. This way, we avoid unintentional influence and maintain objectivity, because if the researcher knows that one group is getting a treatment, somehow, subconsciously, they will start looking for more effects of that therapy in a closer way than they would look at the individuals who got the placebo. So they have to look at everyone equally and fairly and give them the same opportunity to show exactly what happened in their situation. Next, we talk about randomizing the subjects that we use in any kind of research investigation. So you want to imagine that you're hosting a dinner party and you want a mix of guests. Some are extroverts, some are introverts, maybe some foodies. Similarly, in research, we need a diverse group of participants. Randomization ensures fairness. It's like drawing the names out of a hat, meaning the whole party won't be full of one group or another. It'll be a mix of everyone. There's no bias. There's no favoritism. This way, our findings reflect the broader population of individuals with autism, as opposed to one particular small group. And the final thing I want to talk about, there are many more, but the last one for this video is the ability to replicate the findings that we had in one research study in future studies. So imagine this. You just baked a delicious cake, but is this a fluke or is it a true masterpiece? To be sure, you bake it again, same recipe on a different day. Similarly, effective treatments need a double take. Once one research study shows positive results, we are eagerly waiting for the second paper to show the same thing in a different group of people that are studied. This time, it's a completely separate group of participants. If the lightning strikes twice, then we celebrate. See, replication builds confidence. It's like having two witnesses to confirm our cake is indeed scrumptious. Science is a very competitive sport. So each scientist, when they do a research project, wants to prove their results and their theories over other scientists and their competition. If one scientist who's trying to disprove their colleagues is not able to, and in fact confirms that their colleagues' work was correct, that lets you know that even though their natural interests were not so much to support the other scientists around them, if they ended up supporting that, that means that in reality, a therapy is effective and it's been replicated in different groups to let us feel more confident that it's effective. So for parents in New York State, navigate autism with confidence. Call our office and empower your child's development with proven strategies and compassionate care. And if you learned something, please hit the like and subscribe buttons below and leave a comment to help spread the word. Imagine being able to have a conversation with your child's caregivers and other parents from the perspective that you are armed with knowledge about the difference between which criteria are needed for high quality versus low quality therapy information. You are now wearing special lenses which let you cut through a bunch of speculation and get to the heart of information. And in these situations, where your empathy meets your critical thinking, you build connection and you thread hearts and minds.